Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Singapore, and good evening, One&Co. Thank you very much for visiting today. My name is Tatsuya Tsuzuki from Musashino University Entrepreneurship Department Faculty. So thank you very much for this event, EMC Asia launch event. Thank you very much. Let's get started our event. Please enter that. Thank you. So first of all, I want to introduce to our dean, Mr. Yoichi Ito, to speak welcome remarks. Okay, Yoichi, please.
Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to here. And today we are going to have a opening ceremony of EMC ASIA today. My name is Yoichi Ito, the Dean of the Entrepreneurship Department of Musashino University. And today we are happy to welcome you. And we are going to be global, and we are going to create global entrepreneurship, global entrepreneur here. And today it's an opening ceremony of EMC ASIA new office. And let's get started with the event. First, keynote from Mr. Ebihara. We are very thrilled to welcome Ebihara-san, the legend of the entrepreneurship scene in Singapore and India for over 10 years. And my presentation on EMC's global strategy. And after that, lightning pitch of some of our students. And after that, we have a panel discussion with Ebihara-san and CT-san from NUS Enterprise and Ikuo, also the EMC faculty. And thanks all of you coming here, and we hope enjoy the event and have fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yoichi. Okay, next, I want to introduce you our keynote speaker, Mr. Takeshi Ebihara, Liberate Partners Founding General Partner. Please talk about this slide. Asian Startup Tech Scene. Okay, Mr. Takeshi, please come here. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. It works, right? Okay. Thank you. First of all, congratulations for the EMC for opening this kind of branch here in Singapore. So hopefully it's going to be the corridor between Japan and the ASEAN or the emerging Asian regions, and the prosper together. So the EMC folks asked me to describe this Asian startup scene, so that I tried my best shot. But talking about the Asia, maybe we better to compare with the other region of the global. So that I'm going to touch upon a little bit about the global first. So okay, doesn't work. I think it's better to use this one. Sorry. Okay. So I'm going to start with the startup fundraising amount. So I always use this slides. This is the last year's fundraising amount by country. So the US and India. This one, US, China as the two superpower, followed by the UK, India. Those are the 3 or 4 biggest in terms of the fundraising around the globe. US, UK, and India is always split, so that maybe you can assume that those 3 countries, those 2 countries are number 3 or 4. And the UK is also the hub for the all of the Europe, so that the India as a country maybe the 3rd ranking, followed by the here in Southeast Asia and France. So Southeast Asia is not the region in the country, but the region. But as a region, maybe the fourth, fifth biggest in terms of fundraising. Probably is Japan. Japan is a small compared with the fundamental power of the economy. So at least obviously the Japan is far bigger than Israel, but in terms of fundraising, it's almost same, right? So what do you think is the reason? Do you have a guess? Why is the Japan's fundraising of the startup is far smaller than compared with their fundamental power of the economy? So do you have a guess? Raise hand? No? All right. So simple reason is the Japan is the easiest country for an IPO. The average size of the market cap of the newly IPO is 100 to 100 million, which is the average size of the Series B around the US or global countries. So that the Japan is very unique in terms of the startup ecosystem. So that is why. But fundamentally, I think maybe two reasons. One is the Japan is a domestic country, domestic economy is in slump. That's one of the reasons. But I'm going to touch upon that's going to be the concrete very soon. And the second reason is the go global. I think that's the one reason for the EMC folks is here. But we're actually not good at the go global in terms of the business. So that's the second reason, I guess. But anyway, we're going to discuss it later in the panel, I guess, about this. This is the fundraising amount in terms of the the momentum. Sometimes we describe the winter of the fundraising. It's sharply down compared with the COVID period. It's almost 70-80% down. And that makes us the almost the same amount of the 2070 before the COVID. But the Asia is much more worse. So Asian fundraising amount is the same as the 2015. So the almost 7 years back. So the reason, because of the fundamental change of the monetary policy of the most of the government and the central the banks, the inflation, the federal rate, it used to be almost zero. So that the cost of the fundraising used to be almost zero during the COVID. But right after the inflation, it's sharply up to the 5 to 6%, right? So that's the direct reason why we are in terms of the winter of the fundraising. And maybe as comparison, most similarity we can find is together with the dot-com period. So dot-com period, we used to have a bubble, and right after the blast of the bubble, the stock price has been sharply down like 70 to 80%, the same as the right now we are living in. But it took 14 years to recover. So I guess maybe this more or less similar thing will happen in the next decade, I guess. It's not the cyclical, it's not the adjustment, I guess. Maybe the paradigm has been already changed, right? So during the dot-com area, then right after that, the startup era happens. After the Y Combinator, the group of the startup in the Silicon Valley invented the business model of the reproduction of the startup, then followed by the tech starts, etc. Then the startup era has been started around the mid-2000s. Then after that, the unicorn era started because of the too much hyperinflation of the asset class of the startup, because of the central government printed money so much, right? But that collapsed once again. So that we are in the new area. So new area is raise fund, be the unicorn, no. Is the business, real business, make the profit for the impact for the society is nowadays we are living in, I believe. The second chapter is about the technology, frontier technologies. I'm going to touch upon the two things, the hottest two things. One is about the Gen AI, and the second one is about the climate change. So Gen AI is growing while the all of the fundraising amount has been decreasing. This sector is growing slowly. And what is Gen AI anyway? There's a bunch of the way of the description, but the one of the way to describe is this one. This one, the kind of the brain of the AI, which is the NVIDIA's GPU. So this makes the NVIDIA as the third largest in terms of the economy size of the company. Right? And the matter is almost 70% of the semicon is produced by the Taiwan. So that makes the geopolitical situation very difficult between the American and China. But anyway, Asian countries are producing almost 70% of the semicon. This is the very phenomenal thing. So we have to proud as Asian people, I guess. Second one is climate tech. Climate tech is growing, yes, but something wrong with the climate tech now. One is just EV is slowing down now. This is the shipment of the EV in the US. It's getting down, as you see. Not only the US, the EU is also getting the down. They can't surpass the 20% now. And even the China is saying, China is the most progress country in terms of the EV, but they can't break the wall of the 30%. Something wrong with the EV now. This is the port of the Belgium. You can see a bunch of the EVs waiting for. So they are criticizing this is not the car park for the EV for Chinese. Right? This is happening right now. So alternative protein as well. So the bunch of the alternative protein companies are struggling now, like alternative meat, alternative food, alternative milk. So two of the notable companies which went to IPO during the COVID, one is the Beyond Meat. The other one is Artery, alternative milk. The marketplace is like this. So they are obviously strong. Anti-ESG is also everywhere. So this is the number of the biggest companies in the US mentioned about something about the ESG during the IR call. It's sharpening down. They never talk about the ESG no more. And also the sustainable fund, they don't, nobody buys nowadays, even they are selling. And this person is Republicans are very famous, as you may see, that the American have passed bills a lot. Why? Because the bunch of the states is living for oil and gas. So their vote is heavily relied on the vote on oil and gas. So the good for the environment is okay, but we have to live, we have to eat now. So that the oil and gas industry is heavily backlash into the ESG things. So that surprisingly, this red states has been passed something about the ESG, anti-ESG, like use oil, don't use so much money for the the environment, etc. The green one, the orange one is this expected one. So much backlash for the anti-ESG, but the USG, America is not the only one. Even the Europe supposed to be the pro environment place, but the even the EU is struggling for passing this kind of the ESG law. So they're always back and forth, right? So considering those situations, I'm always thinking like this curve. The blue one is an exponential curve, and the gray one is the linear curve. So something great is always exponential curve, but the problem is the early moment of the exponential curve feels slow, but once it happens like this, right? So that the important thing is where are we? And also the other problem is there's always hype. Too much, expectation makes the people disappointed. So I think we are somewhere between like here for the ESG, right? And especially the market is not good. So the important thing is not to panic. Don't expect too much, but don't disappoint too much. It's a very right attitude of this. There are always timing is very important, and also the Japan is a very good position. Japan as a country, how to say, we are not so radical, we are not so extreme in the right wing, left wing. So that now is the right time to say the good thing. Hey, wait a minute, don't be too extreme. Let's keep doing the good thing as we can do. So such kind of the position we can do that. This is the harder matter, talking about the ASEAN. I believe sometimes the Singapore referred as a red dot. It's the data aware of the ASEAN and also the Sandy Road of the ASEAN. Because if you are the American startup, your legal entity has to be the data aware. That's the standard, right? So here in the ASEAN countries, same. If you're the startup in the Vietnam or the Philippines, most of the startups tend to set up the legal entity here in Singapore because it's a modern. and friendly for the investors, etc. So because of the reason, set up the entity here in Singapore, and the other reason is the other way of description of the Singapore ecosystem, the Sandhill Road system. Sandhill Road is very famous for venture capital in the Silicon Valley, right? So the most of the notable investors is based here in Singapore, in this Southeast Asian region. So that if you're going to chase the money, you come to here. That's the standard. But talking about the market size, Indonesia is far bigger than anybody else. But 30%, they count 30% out of the total ASEAN GDP. So that if you ask where to go to set up the legal entity, maybe Singapore, but where to start the business, my answer is the Indonesia because it's the largest. And I like to recommend the startups from Japan, Korea, whatever, to build a business here in Singapore, but also to raise the fund here. Okay, here in Singapore, there's a bunch of the investors from the seed to late stage, but especially the notable phenomenon is there's a bunch of the mega fund here. Not only the Temasek GIC, there's a bunch of the large the funds from the Middle East or the Euros, family office, etc. So definitely this is one of the best places in Asia or the globe to raise the fund. So that let's enter the Asian market not only for the building a business, but raise the fund, especially for the late stage fund. In terms of business, phenomenal thing is the ASEAN finally surpassed the Japan in terms of the e-commerce GMV, while the GDP is still bigger in Japan. Why is that? The reason is one is maybe the leapfrogging. Indonesian people, maybe the Vietnam people don't need an ATM, but the digital wallet in the smartphone is enough. Maybe they don't need they don't require maybe the existence of the finest restaurant. Maybe there's a Grab Food or the Uber Eats kind of things. While the Japan kind of the progressed economy already have the existing legacy stuff like an ATM or the finest restaurant or the convenience store. So breaking itself and then go to the DX period is not easy actually. Saying that easy, but doing it, that is actually not easy. That's the innovator's dilemma, I guess. And the second reason for the Asian phenomenon leapfrogging is the youth. The population of the curve is totally opposite compared with the Japan kind of the country. That makes the leaders younger as well. So that's the one reason. Talking about the software sector, the most fundraising sector is the blockchain. So that's a very phenomenal thing. So that if you are the Web3 kind of the startups and entrepreneur, maybe Singapore is still one of the best place to build a business, I guess. For the last, India. So as a last and the final superpower of our planet, I guess. So unfortunately or fortunately, India is going to surpass the fourth largest economy in next year, not in the 10 year, but the next year, right? By the IMF says. So, but that's not the only reason. You have to see the Indian tech. There is three reasons, I guess. The one is as I told, that the world's third largest startup ecosystem is India. And the second reason is the world's best talent exporter is India. 2 out of the 5 big tech is run by the Indian CEO. They're Indian, not the Indian race. They were born and grown and went to the university in India. Then they earned the MBA in the US. So that's a phenomenal thing. So and the third reason is the innovation center is India for the global largest companies like S&P 500. So everybody went there. Otherwise, you're not the finest company in the global. That's kind of the place India is. This is the landscape of the talent of India. So the million of the fresh IT grads was born from the thousands of the finest school there in India. And then they're going to get the job in there. For example, one of the largest IT companies like Tata, Infosys, Wipro, etc. Then the IBM, Accenture, Goldman Sachs kind of the company entered to get a finance supply of the talent, followed by the mega company, big tech. Right? And the other phenomenal thing is that they are borderless between the US. That makes the H1 visas, occupation is almost 90%. Sorry, 80%. 80% of the H1B visa is issued to Indian people in USA. So, and also the 55% of the unicorn in US was built by the immigrants, and the biggest one is the Indian race, right? So that level, talent from the India is so active in US, and also some of the chunk of the those talent is getting to start. Why? Because the economy, domestic economics is so large, it's going to be the fourth. Sooner or later, they're going to be the third, right? So that's the one the reason they get into the startup ecosystem. And CEO of the SP 500, which is the biggest company in the globe. Absolutely none of the CEOs, of course, the Caucasian is the biggest, but per population is the biggest in the Southeast Asia. South Asia. It means that mostly vast majority is Indian people. So that not only the technology company, but the bunch of the bank sector was run by the India CEO, etc. So that's a really phenomenon. And for the last manufacturing industry, 1 out of the 7 iPhone is made in India. Maybe this is going to be the 1 out of the 5, 1 out of the 3, like China used to be. And also the Tesla is almost starting the manufacturing there in India. So that the Making India policy by Prime Minister Modi is steadily proceeding. So that their progress as the China is steadily proceeding. So yeah, that's the conclusion. So what I wanted to emphasize is 3. So Asia is, as you see, the growing. Not only the size of the economy, but the digital economy is growing far, progress than the Japan. So that definitely you have to capture that. And the second one is about to capture the talent from the Asia, especially from here in the Singapore and the India. That's the keys, one of the key factors of success. And the last one is about the raise the fund. So to raise the fund, you definitely have to come here to Singapore. Otherwise, you can't be the big. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ibhara. Great presentation. I think that we have to go to not only the Singapore, but also the India too. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, next, I want to introduce our dean, Mr. Yoichi. Maybe many of this audience doesn't know about us. We, EMC, Entrepreneurship Musashino Campus. Introduction, EMC Asia by Dean Mr. Yoichi. Okay, we will connect the PC. Wait 1 minute.
Thank you again. I want to talk about Musashino EMC and EMC ASIA. And again, my name is Yoichi Ito, the Dean of Entrepreneurship Department at Musashino University, and also CEO of Musashino Ballet, the incubation studio located in Tokyo. And I'm also the president of LINE Yahoo Academia. LINE Yahoo is the #1 internet company in Japan. And I'm the president of Corporate University of LINE Yahoo Corporation. And furthermore, I'm the author of the several business books ever. And in One&Co, the newest one is there. And my best-selling book is this one, over 620,000 issues in Japan. And this title is Speak in 1 minute. But usually my presentation is always long. So always friends introduce me as the man who can't speak in 1 minute. But anyway, I have several books. And today I want to talk about Musashino EMC and Musashino EMC Asia. But before this, I want to introduce, almost all of you knows, but I want to introduce the Japanese current economic situation. As you know, Japan has been suffering from the last 30 years. And please take a look at this graph. This is the change in GDP, gross domestic product, in the top 6 countries from 1980 to 2020 for 40 years. This blue line is United States. United States has been growing year by year. And this orange line is China. China has been rapidly growing since 2005. And this line is Japan. Japan has been growing since 1980 to 1995, and it stopped their growing for 30 years, perfectly stopped growing. This is the fact of, I think, the last 30 years. So we can see the turning point is 1995. What the matter? What happened in 1995? This is, the launch of Windows 95. So this is the first year of internet commercial use. So when the internet came into the world, Japan has stopped growing. What the reason? I noticed that before 1995, it's a manufacturing error. And after 1995, it's the era of internet. And we can describe maybe finite game and infinite game. In the book, Simon Sinek said, before 1995, we have been fighting in finite game, restricted rules and one goals, and we went straight to the goal and win or lose. This is we call finite game. And infinite game, there's no rule, no goals, and collaborate together. It's in the finite game. Before 1995, we are fighting in the finite game. And this area, Japan was very strong. And after that, in infinite game, we have to fight infinite game. Japan was so weak. And management has been changed, we think. I think in finite game era, the role of the manager is education, and communication is almost top-down communication, and the team members are required to be uniform, and it is important for them to get correct answers quickly and accurately. And after 1995, in infinite game era, the role of the manager completely changed. The role of the manager is mainly facilitating dialogue and discussion. And the communication style changed to top-down to flat one-on-one communication. And team members are required to be diverse. And the most importantly, we have to have one's will. One's will is most important thing for us to do things. And this is, I think, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is one's will. And it's very difficult for Japanese people to have one's will. It may be strange for other countries' people, but we Japanese usually don't have our will. So we have to train to have one's will in Japanese universities. This is the reason why we launched this department. We launched the department in 2021. So 3 years have passed, no graduate yet, but we have confidence about to nurture the entrepreneurship. This is the message of our website. 会社に入るか、社会を作るか。It's join a company or create a society in English. And we are challenging a completely new educational style. It may be common in other countries, but it's quite rare in Japan to develop entrepreneurship in students. We have 3 features. First, practice-oriented culture. So we do business in reality, in the culture, and we create the company in the culture. It is a very rare in Japanese university. Practice-oriented culture. And second, almost our faculties are business professionals. They do. One of faculties are entrepreneur, and one of faculties are marketer and copywriter, the professional of technology or something like that. Almost all our faculties are business professionals. And third, it's rare in Japanese university. Students live together in the dormitory during freshman year. They communicate with each other from morning till night. In the daytime, we discussed each other in the campus. And in the evening, we discuss each other in the dormitory. This is very essential for us. And results are coming in gradually for 3 years. 10 students started their own companies, and 9 is doing business, self-employed. And many of students are preparing to build their own business now. We have only 3 years, but a lot of students starting or already started or starting their own business. Almost 10% of students are already starting a business. So we don't have any graduates yet, but okay, so we have to go to global. So we decided to go global. So we came here to nurture a global entrepreneur. Main message is this: the whole world is my stage. And it accelerates getting the funds, a lot of funds from Tokyo metropolitan government. So we can use a lot of money from the money we got from Tokyo metropolitan government. So we have to accelerate this action. And today is the day we opened the Singapore office. And after that, in this summer, we have pitch events across Asia. And we send a few students to internship, and we receive the internship from these countries: Indonesia, and the Philippines, and India, and of course in Singapore. We send students to the pitch events and internships, and there we learn exchange program in these countries. More specifically, we do the things. We started this program in Sushi Tokyo Internship Program, there, which is held in Tokyo last month, and there we received two Singapore startups received our internships. So special thanks to Mr. Taka-san of One&Co and Tanakai-san from Jeto, Singapore. We did this program, and today we are here to open our office. And after that, since August of this year, we have a pitch event and study tour and short-term internship program in these countries. This is the start to nurture a global entrepreneur. But I was thinking this is a way to develop global entrepreneur. I didn't know this. I didn't know. I don't have a confidence. But after coming to Singapore the day before yesterday, I decided to feel the atmosphere of Singapore. No one in the EMC knows about. I solely decided to have a summer camp program in summer of 2025. I decided, and there in Singapore, and there we gather students from all over the world and summer camp, and we discuss each other, and we develop entrepreneurs, global student entrepreneurs from this summer camp. We will hold this summer camp next year, next summer. So only 1 year, but we have to prepare hard. In this way, we develop the global entrepreneur, Japan and Asian country. We want to contribute the growth of Asian countries, and we have to recover from lost 30 years of Japanese economy. The last message, Alan Kay said, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. So let's create the future together to make the world a better place. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ito, Yoichi. Great presentation. Our journey starts today, and let's enjoy our journey with us. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, now we want to introduce our students. They will do a very, very short lightning pitch. We want to introduce 7 students. Okay, take your smartphone and take a QR code. Please give your message to our student page. Very shortly is enough. We are online also. Maybe you can check the URL and then please give the message to the students. Okay. Give me a mic. Actually, our department, all students do the project, startup project, so they will introduce their project on their page. Okay, first, Sayaka Hiramatsu, please come here. Okay, our students, please do your page.
Hello, I'm Sayaka. Today, I'm going to talk about our service called Video Read. Video Read is the application of learning second language through taking a video diary. Using Video Read is very easy. Memorize three vocabularies and talking about your diary and check your mistakes. We provide the opportunity to use English every day. Also, we have three-friend system. It makes users motivated each other. Our vision is to make our world borderless. We want to create a world where people can connect and express their emotion in their own language. Visit our team member in Japan and US. And we share more information about us on Instagram, so please check and follow it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sayaka. Thank you very much. Maybe you remember we were looking for in not only the US but also Singapore too. Okay, second student, I want to introduce Mizuki Katano. Okay, please check it out this QR code and I'll give you a message. Okay, Mizuki, let's get started.
Okay. So hello, my name is Mizuki. I will talk about my dry fruits project. So this project is the domestic sales project of dry fruits from Cambodia. So we started this project because when we visited Cambodia with the seminar team, then we supported the facility for the handicapped. So facility for the handicapped that produces dry fruits product. So what we do, so we have three main activities that exhibit events and sales on easy sites and wholesale to stores. So then this photo is of the Cambodian festival with our team member. Then where we exhibited the kitchen car last month. Then we saw the Cambodian curry and dry fruit syrup soda and shaved ice with dry fruit jam. Then after this event, our next one will selling the dry fruits products directly on easy sites and wholesale stores. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mizuki. Actually, Zenno team went to the Cambodia for 1 month, and then they're looking for the businesses, and then they started an import business. Okay, I want to introduce third student, Nana Yamaguchi. Okay, let's get started, Nana.
Thank you. Yeah, hello, I'm Nana Yamaguchi. I learned Musubi restaurant Musubi using rice from Nishiaizu in Fukushima Prefecture. The trigger was when my teacher told me about the delicious rice I ate for the first time and was impressed. That's not surprisingly. It had won the grand prize in international rice competition 3 times. In addition, the community was very warm. On the other hand, Nishiaizu is in danger of disappearing in 20 years. For these reasons, I started Musubi. Currently, I open it once a week in Tokyo. More than 300 people came. I hope you will come to Musubi. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Nana. I know that Japanese basketball is very famous in Singapore too, and you have a plan to come to Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, next is Yang Yi. She's from China and then studied in a department in Japanese, and so she can speak in English, Chinese, and Japanese. Okay, I pass this to call and let's get started. Yang.
Hello everyone, and my name is Yang. And have you ever, now let's introduce our project. So have you ever imagined how much experience can you take in a short time? That imagine for the diving into the Japanese culture and exploring the history and enjoying the nature and seeing the latest exchange in just a short time. So our new project offers that a tour around Shibuya and Harajuku station and made to give our customers an unforgettable experience in Japan. And in 3 hours, you will see the vibrant heart of Tokyo. And why I joined this group is because I want to help the tourists to understand and to appreciate the beauty and the uniqueness of the place where they visit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, you guiding to the guests in English or Chinese, both? English. Wow. Oh, thank you. Okay, next. Fifth student, assembly. This team is a Grand Prix champion last year's EMC Summit. Mr. Tetsuro Yanai. Okay, let's start your presentation.
Hello everyone, I'm Tetsuro Yanai. I have a dental service using Seoul Student Works. So students throw away artwork they have done for assessment, garage, or hobby art. And the artwork is used to display in hospital and working space, hospital office. The reason I'm doing this service is very simple. My friend studying art was suffering for earning money. And I study business, management, and finance in college. Because what I'm learning is important to my friend, but they are very happy. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This team already started a business and maybe founded a company with these few months. Okay, 6 students. I want to introduce Iko Nomura. Okay. Good evening, everyone, for taking the time and also take a good opportunity. Actually, I'm establishing the company, so I about the new business agency. So that's because I've been to the 25 countries, and also I have a art of friend and everything. So what can I say? Actually, I forget, actually I'm establishing the company. So this name is Kotawa Corporation, and they're 4 members. And also, we accept the 3.6 million Japanese yen in capital gain. So service including the ticketing and starting to coordinating. So maybe next year. So we will make it's a study tour and internship as well. So yeah, thank you for attention. Yeah. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, we after back to Japan, we founded this company. Actually, I also being one of the shareholders. Thank you. Okay, at last but not least, we'll introduce our student Aya Shiraishi. Okay, Aya, let's get started.
Hi, my name is Aya. I'm a student from Musashino University of Entrepreneurship Faculty. Right now I'm taking a year off and doing internship in White which is Meg-San's company. She's over there. And I'm talking about the reasons why I'm in Singapore. So I want to know before I came here, when I was in second grade, I went to Silicon Valley and met entrepreneurs. Also, I studied food business in Cambodia. Those experiences shaped my wants, which is I want to know my own level and expand my capabilities. Also, I want to learn how to grow a business in a place people from all over the country visited. And then I'm going to talk about where I'm going to. Like my next steps. I have two next steps. One is keep pushing myself without fear or failure, and then find out what I'm good at. And two is I want to be the person who inspires and gives dreams to people like students like us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Aya. Actually, she's doing an internship in Singapore and we'll stay more 3-4 months. Maybe you will meet again in Singapore. Okay, thank you very much, dear students, 7 students. Please give a message. Actually, right now we have around 240 students. So in that time, we have around 60 to 70 projects is going on. Maybe from that project team, like a good company or good startups, and we'll come to Singapore and then go to the area. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next, I want to introduce 3 speakers and then doing a panel discussion. Professor Mr. Ikuo Hiroshi, Professor Musashino EMC and doing Vision CEO, and Takeshi Ebihara, Liberate Partners, founding general partner, and City Ryan binti Abdul Hamid, community manager of the Hunger NUS enterprise. Okay, please come to here and then we will set up the chairs. Okay, take a minute and then we will prepare that.
Uri-san, should we start? Yeah. Thank you for coming today. I hope you guys are enjoying and those sessions are somewhat informative. And we have 30 minutes to discuss. I think I'm sure those 2 people are tired of hearing this kind of question. What missing to revitalize Japan, or what required to make Japan a shining nation again? But from his keynote, the Japan is very much behind the global startup ecosystem. But from your perspective, Ibira-san, I think you have lived in Singapore more than 10 years, right? So through your what you saw until today, both the Southeast Asian countries and Japan, what do you think are missing or we are required to be revitalized? My answer is very simple. It's the lack of the proper policy of the economy and the finance. Simply, Japan was the country of the deflation. So deflation country for over the 3 decades is very strange and unique. And we can't see such kind of country around the globe. So deflation means that today is better than tomorrow. Today is better than next year, right? That the people don't buy, people don't invest, people don't move, people don't change the job, people don't do the do the stuff because the staying is better. Not to spend is better, not to invest is better because everything is going to cheap, right? Because here in the Singapore, here in the Southeast Asia, India, totally opposite. Even the Western countries opposite. Right? Yeah, I am not sure. But tomorrow it's going to be everything is going to be higher, expensive. So that we have to buy now, we have to invest now, and then we can make money much better. So that's simple reason, I guess. But good or bad, inflation seems is going to be, finalized, and then finally we're gonna shift into the inflation kind of the momentum. So that I'm actually not that pessimistic for the near future of Japan in terms of that. Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised. I was expecting you're going to say more kind of pessimistic about it, kind of as you always do.
No, not much. I was a fan of Japan. So.
What do you think are missing or they're required to make Japan revitalize or to become a shining country again? So you're basically always dealing with working with young students, really young students up here in the US.
Yeah.
So no matter what, but something came up to my mind, that would be wonderful.
I would say, based on my experience, so currently in NUS, I'm part of NUS Enterprise, which is the entrepreneurial arm of the university. And what in NUS Enterprise, what we do is we actually have a few pillars. One is the academy arm. Then after that, followed by ecosystem arm, which is basically working with the startups and young founders on the ground. And we have the tech commercialization arm. So the academy side, it places very heavy emphasis on experiential experiences, which helps to let students experience how it is to build a startup in different settings. So we have programs like NUS Overseas Colleges, which is one of our flagship programs to send students from Singapore to over 20 nodes in the world, right? So basically what they do is that they intern in the startup while also experiencing the culture and the ecosystem vibes over there. So it places very heavy emphasis on letting the students explore the ecosystem their own, by participating in hackathons, participating in experiences that help them to nurture their own business idea. So in a way, it gives them that motivation or learning through their own efforts as well. Right, and self-discovery. So it's very much so on self-driven and self-motivation from the students, while also giving them that added experience. So we don't baby them, but we let them intern in the company. How you kind of grow and build is really dependent on you. We give them the resources, but then it's up to them. So in the Hangar, which is an early stage incubator for startups, we also give them the resources, but we also let them decide their own path from there. So we tell them, if you don't leverage our resources, that's on you, but we will help you grow if you want to grow. So I guess that's the main drive from NUS. So we want the students, to have a lot of experiential experiences.
So NUS is the Singapore government-owned university, national university, right? So So NUS has been ranked as the university ranking. I think they're always one of the top 10 ranking, right? So is that the other, how should I say, when NUS was established? So when NUS was established, meaning my question is, NUS always be such kind of brilliant university, or something changed NUS to become globalized and be a brilliant university?
I would say actually, in my level, we will term NUS as a dinosaur. We were started in 1905, right? So it was over 150 years old, right? So, but NUS, in terms of the entrepreneurship department, we started only probably in 2001, maybe very old.
2001.
2001.
Okay.
So maybe more than 20 years ago. So we celebrated our 20 years anniversary. And I think that was a period where the startup ecosystem was just building up in Singapore. And I think like it faced quite a lot of resistance from what I know. So told by my counterparts in NUS Enterprise. But I think we managed to kind of work together with one of the collaborate with Stanford to launch the NUS Overseas Colleges in Silicon Valley, right? But that was probably the pivotal point of NUS kind of being very immersed in the entrepreneurship scene, because of that decision to make us one of the global players in Southeast Asia. Yeah. So, but I would say maybe it took a very long time and a lot of trial and error as well. And because different presidents of NUS have probably different outlooks as well and strategy. But during that time, the president for NUS, Prof. Chigapang, right? Sorry, I need to dig my history. Yeah, he's the one that wanted to bring NUS to the next level. So that's why he started the entrepreneurship department.
So what are the other kind of driving force to make NUS, going for the innovation or, such a really active entrepreneurship movement or ecosystem?
This is probably not my place to say as much, but from what I know, what was even emphasized is we want to be the ecosystem hub, like the next Silicon Valley in Southeast Asia. Right? So I think the drive to continuously want to build innovation while also working with our partners within the region is something that we want to work towards.
So, Ebiara-san, what do you think how NUS has become kind of like a very innovative, kind of like a system or function to produce the other young entrepreneurs? I think you have lived in this country more than 10 years and you keep watching ecosystem, right? Yes, yes. How NUS has kind of contributed to make Singapore kind of global startup.
I have very limited knowledge about the campus and the university itself, but when I started my investment activity here in Singapore 2011, literally there wasn't an ecosystem, almost zero. So there was only the venture capital that I know over there that period was the Vertex. Other than that, literally zero. Almost all of the venture capital established after our firm.
So you're kind of created the other venture capital.
No, I don't say that, but simply if there wasn't an ecosystem. But after that, around the early 2000, as I explained on my session, the startup ecosystem started in the US, and then after the 2011-12 unicorn boom happened, and then suddenly, the startup ecosystem was built here in the ASEAN. Then a bunch of the startup event is happening almost every week. And then over there we met together.
Yeah, right. At the
That was 2013.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is actually very natural progress as a country. In India, as a survival strategy, anyway, there was no choice for Singapore to do that. So that's why they invest massive investment into the very selected university, which is in the EU, in the US, and they do massive support program.
So as you mentioned, the 2013, Eileen Lee coined the word of the unicorn, but those kind of influence and impact was also penetrated into the startup ecosystem in Japan. However, the Singapore was really kind of stimulated, and all of a sudden, lots of people try to start their own startups, and go into the Silicon Valley and they try to raise money from the other VCs over there. And some of the VCs, Sequoia or the other GGV, they came and to start investment. So even though we were living in the same situation, but the startup ecosystem in Singapore has become very diversified and globalized, and Singapore has become the Southeast Asian countries hub. But regarding Tokyo, compared to the dot-com bubble, so a startup ecosystem in Tokyo has become also very, very robust and mature. However, still really, really domestic. That's because Japan still fourth largest GDP market country. So even though they become a Galapagos, but they can grow. And then unfortunately, our language is very weird language. Only 120 million people speaking and useless outside of Japan and the homogeneous country. So that's why that we have not yet been to be diversified and globalized. On the other hand, Singapore only has in my humble research, 5 million population, something.
6 million.
6 million. So they need to look for the other markets, even though people can get raise money over here. But as he mentioned at the keynote, people have to look for and go for the other markets, right? So that is kind of the physically very much different circumstances. So given those kind of differences, even he said, we are now in the inflation, but our Japanese yen has been weakened so dramatically. So very expensive to go abroad from Japan. So what would be your suggestion for the strategy we may think of for Japanese startups?
Is going to raise fund
to global or to make a global startups.
Okay, so from my belief and the thesis for the long time, technology can be global, product can be global, and the service can't. Service is very domestic. So that the Japan is has a history relatively good at the technology and manufacturing. So that the I'm very familiar with the government some committee or the startup presentation event. I see so many fine a seed of the deep tech, high tech from especially the university like Tohoku Daigaku, etc. So that I see the opportunity for them, but the problem is the management talent. It is totally opposite the situation from India. So obviously, completely, the most lack piece of Japan is the global management talent. So we have to meet somebody, and we have to raise somebody, and then import such kind of talent from the foreign country. I believe India is one of the best, the place to import from to Japan, I guess. So such kind of the effort you have to do them one by one. But the potential is very huge. I think definitely IP, technology, manufacturing, big tech is very good in Japan. So I see the opportunity.
But I think the language is the big issue to hire, to welcome the other.
I don't have voice on that. I think so. Japanese somehow has such kind of thoughts. But I don't think, I don't know, Toyota Sakichi, Honda Soichiro, Morita-san, their English was not that bad. But they conquered the world because of the products, technology, the quality, spec. That's the matter. We can bring somebody who can speak English from everywhere. So
That's right.
I don't want something like that.
Okay, all right. So now you're gonna make more investment to the Japanese startups who are seriously good at technology and also seriously going out.
Of course.
Yes. Okay, cool. What do you think? How we can make a Japanese startup ecosystem globalized and diversified and the other producer lots of unicorns, globalized startups out of Japan, originated out of Japan.
I would say the Singapore side, what we do currently is establish quite a lot of global partners. So that's through our initiative of Block 71. So Block 71 is our tech ecosystem builder, where we work with our partners in different countries that we want to have a node in, so that when our startups, because we always tell our startups in areas of advice that the market is not within Singapore, it's too small, 5 million, we can't take anything. So we always tell them like, look global. So that is one of the main things when we want to, take in startups to support and incubate. So if they're not looking at global, then we, it's very hard to support them. So through Block 71, we actually work with quite a lot of partners. So like, for example, in Indonesia, we work with Salim Group to establish 3 incubation centers, so that we also nurture startups in Indonesia, but at the same time also give our startups that access to those markets easily through our connections. So in Vietnam, we have Becamax. So we have a center in Ho Chi Minh. In Japan, we have Nagoya, coming up Tokyo. So my Block 71 program manager from Japan is there. Rebecca Han. Right, and then we also have China. So we have Chongqing and Guangzhou centers, and then of course, not forgetting we have the Silicon Valley one, which is the US centers. So I would say the strategy for NUS75 or Block 71 is to really have more connections to the markets that have a very vibrant startup ecosystem or even emerging startup ecosystems, so that we can also build our connections from there and let our startups grow faster through our help.
All right, thank you. By the way, how many minutes do we have left?
10 minutes.
Another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to discuss the 2 agenda. So Ibiara-san, I think most of your LPs are Japanese big corporations, right? So I think I understand their motivation and the reasons to become your LPs. But my question is, as you know, the internal the reserve of the Japanese big companies are $5 trillion USD, huge money. Just sleeping at the bank account. So do you have any ideas to keep them out to invest in the startups? I mean, Japanese startups who are capable to go global. So do you have any ideas?
Get such kind of money from the large corporates from Japan.
Right, and even if directly to the startups or investing into the VC as someone's needs to your fund, but still $5 trillion USD.
Yeah. Simply as I told, I answered multiple times. Get out of the deflation. That's the answer.
Now we are getting out, right?
Yes. And the other problem of the large corporates in Japan used to be they are not good at the governance, corporate governance. So, but that part is getting better and better. And the most not a small number of the listed company in Japan used to be the lesser 1x PBR. It means that the corporate value is lesser than what you get in the bank account. So that's problem. But that's also the changing rapidly. So that I don't see so much problem about that aspect. So yeah, that's my answer.
So the weak Japanese yen, relatively rather kind of positive impact?
Yes, I think so.
But lots of, for Anderson. And the other question or agenda I would like to discuss with you guys is, I just heard from this fact from my friend sitting over here, in the Japanese the academia, the sabbatical is only 1 year. So just 1 year is but in the US and in China. So the professors are allowed 3 years sabbatical, meaning if some professors and researchers have a very good technology and research and development, etc., then they get out of the universities for 3 years to set up his or her own startups with the capable students, and then after 3 years they may come back to the university. So I think that is one of the system function works, especially deep tech. So, but in Japan, the just 1 year is allowed. So, what do you think? Even though those kind of situation, how we can make the deep tech setups growing, and how we can get the management to make such a setups come to life? Any of you?
Right. So in NUS, we recognize that because NUS research is very strong, so we generally generate a lot of IP research and patents. So one of the initiatives that our management did was launch the Graduate Research Innovation Program, which is considered a deep tech accelerator to accelerate startups or research who have an IP, but they haven't got what it takes maybe to get it to commercialization stage. So this accelerator, we actually kind of encourage most of these researchers or professors to come onto the GRID program to commercialize the product. They may not have business idea, but that's where we also try to match them with some, founders who are interested to join the project as CEOs or the business people to kind of accelerate and also at the same time bring the deep tech ventures into commercialization. So that's one of the incentives or the things that we did and launched. Previously, we launched it with a seed funding of 100K. I think this year onwards, we're having a 2.0 because there's more heavily emphasis to grow more deep tech startups in Singapore, with NUSN to take the helm of it. So I think that not anything. The current investment now is for projects or deep tech ventures who are selected for this. They get $250,000 to start off as seed funding. At the same time, they get more, connectors. They also get mentorship, how to kind of grow their ventures and spin around and commercialize. So that's probably one of the gaps that we plugged in terms of the sabbatical part. So that incentivizes professors who wants to, turn it from just a pattern or from an IP into a deep tech venture.
I understand it works in Singapore, but Iberia-san, how do you see the Japanese academia, the situation and the restrictions to let the other IPs and professors to come on board of the other setup ecosystem?
From my limited knowledge, the Japanese government is getting to be, tend to acknowledge that problem, and then slowly but steadily changing the multiple, regulation, and try to influence the university to, the government to change. So that I see a bunch of the professors, even in the Japanese very traditional professors, tend to be starting their own business together with the young talent. So that slowly but steadily going, so that I don't see so much difficulty in it.
Yeah. All right. Totally unexpected, talk about those kind of positive things. Okay. So I know we are running out of time, but this is a very special occasion. So if anyone has a question to ask, those two people. Okay.
How do we change the mindset of Japanese to think global? We talk about a lot of the things that are positive, and I spend a lot of time working in Japan as a firm there. But to me, it's still the mindset. Today, I love it. The young people presenting. We talked about it yesterday. It's all about experience. But how do we try and change that mindset? Mindset of the corporations, mindset of the middle management layer in Japan, to think differently, to think not even to think globally, but to think everything that Ito-san said in the presentation.
Thank you, Dan. So I don't see the some kind of the medicine can work for the one night. So I'm always a strong believer of the effect of the peer. If your colleague your senpai, the superior, started your business and then they are successful and they get a bunch of the money or they get a reputation a lot, then I can do that as well. Because he did that, I can do that because he's not that great guy. Then we get exposed to the information from the US, from the Elon Musk, etc. So the peer is pretty much important, but it takes time. So there is no, the super medicine that it works one night. But once again, I would like to go back to the macro, financial situation was very strange for the past 3 decades. But more than 3 decades, there was a bunch of the finest company like Uniqlo, Keyence, EMC, etc. They are the $10 billion company now, and then from the scratch. So that definitely, I believe, once the macroeconomy and the financial situation is going to be the normal, and it is going to be, then I believe such kind of peer is going to be born, and then the follower is going to be followed. That's my thesis.
All right. Thank you very much for two of you in a super busy situation. So let's give it for.
Okay, thank you very much to you guys. Thank you very much. Okay, this event will be closing, but we will prepare the reception after that. Okay, first, Yoichi will closing note, and then let's take a pic after closing note. Let's take a picture in front of here. Okay, Yoichi, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, and we hope you enjoy this event. And after that, we will go global, and we act and act and act. So please join our project. After that, the pitch event starts at August in this year, and we will repeat this project for several years. We will find the key to be global. But before noticing this key to overcome to be global, we will keep going to be exchange the students from now on. So please keep in touch together and have a slight dinner and talk with each other a lot. Thank you very much for coming here.